Another day, another PSA submission. Although I've gotten back 2 PSA submissions recently, PSA will still have 200 of my cards after this submission. This is all part of my plan to try to get as much inventory as I can for the holiday season and the 30th anniversary coming up. So even though they've got 200 of my cards, I still might be sending a few more because with 2-month turnaround, this puts us right at the end of the year for this personal submission. So I think I'll be wanting to send a few more so I can have as many cards as I can for the 30th anniversary, as I think there'll be a pretty big boom there. Of course, everyone's thinking that, but I think Pokemon's going to be pumping a lot of money into advertising, which will bring a lot of people into Pokemon in general. So I'd just rather be prepared rather than caught with low inventory numbers. Starting off here with this Ho-Oh-V, I just pulled this card myself and it looked good enough to grade. I remember seeing a Z&G Emporium post on Instagram about how crazy these were. Something like 100, 150 bucks in a 10 or something like that for a V card. That's just a normal V card. It's pretty crazy, but popular Pokemon, so I can see why it makes sense. This one, yeah, looked good enough to send in. And Ho-Oh is a great legendary. Love Gen 2. Gen 2 needs a little bit more love, but V cards were just so easy to pull back in the days. It's weird to see that with any value. This Pikachu VMAX card was in my last submission. It got a PSA 9, and I thought it looked pretty good enough to at least warrant sending again to try, because again, there was no whitening on this, and I know a lot of times with the 9s it's really just a coin flip between 9 and 10, so we'll send it again, see if we can get a better grader who had a better lunch that day and wants to give it a 10. Similar thing here with this Charizard VMAX. This is still my favorite card of the Sword and Shield era. Just love the shiny Charizard, big VMAX card. I liked VMAX Pokemon. It was a fun little gimmick, and this card looked really good. Definitely good enough to warrant sending again. Centering looks pretty good, a little bit right heavy, but definitely within parameters, so I think this is worth sending in, take a shot. I've had some success with sending back, cracking out 9s and sending them back to PSA, so figure might as well take a shot on this one. Bulbasaur here, this is the Mega Evolution box topper. Personally, I don't think these are 10 worthy, but I wanted one for my personal collection, and I just want one to hold on to in the future to sell off. So yeah, you can see that whitening down there. I don't think this will get a 10, but is something I want in my personal collection in general, so sending off 2 of these to see if there's any shot at either one of these getting a 10, but I do want these cards going forward. I like the stamps. I know they're sort of similar to the staff promo cards that were in favor in Sword and Shield and then kind of fell out of favor, but I think these will do pretty well. Box toppers just in general aren't very common, so when you do get them and they do have a cool stamp on them, especially a popular Pokemon like Bulbasaur, I think this card will do very well long term, so I want a lot of these. Charizard from 151, this was one that I sent in my last submission. And again, it looked good enough. It came back a 9, but definitely looks good enough to have a shot at a 10. So as long as it looks good enough, again, I could go out and sell this card in a 9, lose some money on it, buy another card. But personally, this card looks as clean, if not cleaner, than most other cards on eBay. So I figured you might as well take a shot with the one you already have. So in my opinion, this one looks good enough. Centering is pretty good on it, and there's honestly no whitening on the back. So this one I'm very good with sending off again just to see. Again, you roll the dice, maybe you can get lucky. Same thing here with this Blastoise. This one I pulled myself from the God Pack, 151 God Pack, and this thing does look off-centered right to left. So I expected this to get a 9, and it did get a 9, but again, there's no whitening on the back, and if there's no whitening on the back, there's only centering issues. I think, there's 4 criteria that I look at, and that's surface, centering, edges, and corners. And if there's nothing on the corners, edges, or surface, I think sometimes with centering you can squeak out a 10. So that's kind of my hope here, is I'm hoping they can look past some of the centering issues on this and still round it up to a 10, but you never know. Generally with something like this, you'd expect to get a 9, and that's what I got, but again, sometimes if it's clean enough, it's worth taking another shot. I'll send it twice and then be done with it. Charizard here, same exact thing. This thing actually looked more centered than the Blastoise. This is just a little bit off-centered on the top, considering top to bottom is a little bit heavy, but again, there's no whitening on this card at all, and because there's no whitening, again, it's worth cracking out and taking another submission at. So a lot of these first cards are the cracked submissions that I've gotten back recently, the cards that looked clean enough that still got a 9, that are worth taking another shot on, including this Victini promo card. I love this promo. I think this is a very good promo card, sort of similar to the Greninja and Kingdra promo cards from the Shrouded Fable set. I think this is one of those fringe popular Pokemon. That's probably tier 2, but the artwork on this is just so good that I think this card will do very well. I don't think it'll do as well as those 2 cards. I think those 2 cards are much better artworks than this, but I think it'll still do pretty well. Worth, again, taking a shot at. This one came back a 9, cracked it. We'll see what it gets. On the thought of cracking the slabs, I'd seen people use like bottle openers to crack out the new PSA slabs, but mine did not work like that. I was afraid with the bottle opener that it was going to actually crack the card on the inside or leave an indent on it. So I went back to the old school way of just cracking out the corners with plier cutters and then using a screwdriver to poke in there and crack out the slab. And that worked for all of mine. It was a little bit harder than it was in the past, but still pretty similar. And all of these came out looking pretty good, so I was pretty happy with it. But unfortunate to not get that new way of cracking them down, because that looks super easy. But I'm not sure if maybe it was just one person who got a bad batch that wasn't, you know, put in there correctly or something, but interesting to note. Then these illustration contest cards, if you've been watching my videos, you know I've been having luck selling these as a lot, and specifically this Pikachu card right here is selling for a lot. So I sold these off, I think it was like 300 something bucks for the lot of these in a PSA 10, and I used that money to buy 3 or 4 more copies of these, and these ones looked the best, so I figured I'd send them off. Again, really the Pikachu is the only one worth grading out of these. I think this is like a $20 PSA 10 or something crazy, but they grade pretty easily and they sell for quite a bit of premium. There's still some money to be made here, so I'll keep sending these as long as I can. Specifically this Pikachu card, I want as many of these as I can going forward, because I think this card will do very well. Unique art, very popular Pokemon, limited promo card. I think this will do very well, so I want as many of those Pikachu cards as I can get. And then this Feraligatr just looked good enough. With Legends ZA coming out, there might be a play here with Feraligatr, but I don't know. It just looked clean enough to send in, so it's worth sending in these illustration promo cards if they look clean enough. Next up, we've got a whole bunch of promo cards. I think the rest of this whole stack is promo cards. These were just promo cards I had been picking up recently. All these Prismatic, these come from the surprise box of Prismatic Evolutions with the 4 random packs of Prismatic Evolutions and then 1 stamped promo card. I got a whole bunch of these from Walmart Wednesday. I think I bought like 5 or 6 of them from Walmart Wednesday, and then I filled in, I just bought some from eBay, the ones that I was missing, to try to send in a complete set. And surprisingly, these looked pretty clean when I got them back. They were just in the surprise box, you know, they could flop around all over or whatever, and they were kind of crammed up in there. But honestly, all of these looked pretty good, so I think it's worth sending in, even though, look at how off-centered this thing is. But even though I wanted a full set of these to sell kind of as a lot, so we'll see which ones come back 10s, and I'll probably sell off the 10s to buy more. And the ones that come back 9s, I'll just hold off and then sell them all as a lot going forward. Like the Unagaba promos, I think these could do very well if you sell off a lot of these, all 9 stamps. So I might try to do that. I'll probably try to put that together. That'll be my plan with this, but I've got all of them in Pokedex order. So I've got Jolteon, Flareon here, and I personally like, again, as I was mentioning, these stamps. I think this is a unique enough product that I think these will do pretty well long term. I think it might take a while because these surprise boxes were printed so heavily that I do think it'll take a time, because a lot of people have these cards, but I'm not sure a lot of people are grading them. I actually haven't even looked at the graded price of these, and then these were just some extras that I had: the Flareon, the Espeon, Leafeon, I think I have a Glaceon too. Yep, Glaceon here. So those are the extras that I had. Just threw them in there. Again, if they can come back 10s, they'll probably sell off pretty well, because again, popular Pokemon with a stamp, unique promo card, I'm okay with sending those to see what they get. Now, these are from the 151 Alakazam box. These are all the promo cards from those. And again, I don't normally grade promo cards, but these ones looked pretty good. And with the Cosmo Foil Holo on here, I think this could do okay, especially with promo cards doing what they're doing now. So 151, you can't really go wrong, especially Kadabra, since he was out of the TCG for so long, that any new cards that he gets are going to be pretty unique going forward, because there was such a long time that they couldn't use the Kadabra name and all that stuff. So neat to have those. And then again, this Alakazam was from that promo box, and I think it looked good enough. So again, 151 popular Pokemon, can't go wrong. Same thing here with these Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon promos. These are from the Prismatic Evolutions little promo box, and again, I got a lot of these from Walmart, and these looked clean enough to send. And while I don't normally grade promo cards, the promo cards have been going crazy recently, so I'd rather grade these and just have them while I can. Again, I was kind of saving these for in case PSA ever ran a special, but they really didn't. And so just to keep things going, I might as well just send these in. So don't normally grade promo cards, but those ones look clean enough. And then if you watch the channel, you know Celebrations is my jam. So sending off a bunch of the Celebrations, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard. Again, I like to sell these off as lots in both PSA 10 and 9. Some of these Charizards I actually broke out from my last submission. They graded an 8, and I think that was just because of centering, because again, there wasn't any whitening on this. So we'll kind of see, just a little experiment here on grading these ones again. They graded 8 originally, so we'll see if they come back as 8 or if they can get upgraded. I have seen people grade from 8s to 10 before. Typically, if I get an 8 though, I just crack it out and kind of sell it raw. But in this case, they look clean enough, so we'll send it, see what happens. I cleaned it with a microfiber cloth, but nothing beyond that. Other than that, it looked pretty good. So I think it was just a centering issue on some of these that brought it down to an 8. But I want as many Celebrations cards as I can for the 30th anniversary. So that's kind of why I'm grading so many of these. Venusaur, again, So I had 4 lots that I was going to be sending in, and then I cracked 3 out for my last submission. So that's why I have 7 of the Charizard and 4 of everything else. But we'll see what those come back as. My last Celebrations return came back really good, so I'll probably be selling those because I know I have more coming. The last 3 Japanese cards I have are the ones from my last submission that graded. This thing graded an 8, and for a Japanese card to grade an 8, that's just crazy. I mean, it looked pretty good. There's definitely a little bit of something on the top here. Can't really see it with this lighting, but there's a little bit of edge wear on it, and it's definitely off-centered, but I think this thing could get a 9, so I'd be happy with a 9 on this. Again, it's too expensive in English, so I'm happy with the Japanese card. I love that Gyarados up there. Artwork on this is really good, but just too expensive for me in English, but I like the art, so I don't mind collecting Japanese. Same thing here. This thing actually looked clean enough to get a 10. It somehow got a 9, but with Japanese, I'm willing to roll the dice on this one again. I think this could get a 10. It looked well enough centered. It's a little bit off-centered, but definitely within PSA parameters. And again, Japanese cards typically grade pretty well, so we'll roll the dice on that one. And then lastly, we've got Grand Prix Charizard. This, again, was just part of my promo card play. Tons of people are grading promo cards right now, so I'm probably too late to these. But a Charizard card, Charizard promo, I didn't have this one personally, so I want one for my personal collection, and then I sent off a few others in my last submission. This was just one that I had hanging off. I try to send, if I've got multiple of a promo, I try to send them multiple submissions, just in case you get one bad grader who has one bad day, kind of split it up and mitigate your risk that way. So hopefully this comes back at 10. I can keep one for myself and then sell one off, kind of make my money that way, keep it in my collection cost free. And that's really how I've been building my collection in general. So that's all I've got for this submission. I'll be sending this off. Again, I got 200 cards at PSA right now, so a lot of these will be coming back. So if you're interested in seeing my PSA returns, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you like content like this. Every video that I do with PSA return, I do a slab giveaway, 1 card of that submission. So take a look at my other video. I've got a slab giveaway going right now, and be sure to follow me so you can see all of my submissions going forward. You can get a chance to win PSA slab that I get back for my next submission. Again, I've got 400 cards out. That's 4 submissions, 4 chances to win. And I'm a small channel, so you got a really good chance of winning those. Other than that, I'll get back to my weekly update videos every Wednesday, taking a look at the Pokemon card market so that you don't have to take a look at everything. You can just put me on in the background, listen to me, and I'll give you a rundown of what the Pokemon card market is doing, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, what I'm seeing out there. Again, I like doing these videos as transparency to show you guys exactly what I'm actually sending, what I'm actually buying. Especially if I'm telling you what I think of the market every Wednesday, I'll show you guys what I'm actually doing so that you guys can make your decisions based on that. So appreciate you guys watching. Check out one of my other videos right over there, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.